everyone, I'm Noreen and welcome back to my kitchen today. It's hot outside and we're going to have cold platter for dinner tonight. So that means I gotta make some pita bread. But we're not gonna make it in the oven, we're gonna make it on top of the stove in a hot skillet, and it makes it a lot easier and a lot less hot in your house. So let's go see how easy pita bread are to put together. Alright, we're just going to go ahead and get started. I am making pita bread today, and because it is hotter than Hades outside in my neck of the woods, and it is time to have cold platter for dinner. So when we make cold platter, we like to have pita bread alongside of that, so we can just make pocket sandwiches and dinner's easy. Now, I do not make my pita bread in the oven, especially when it is hotter than Hades outside, because my kitchen will be that hot too, because when you make pita bread in the oven, you kind of have to preheat it to 500 degrees, then you're in and out of the oven. It's just a horrible experience. So today we're going to make it in an iron skillet on top of the stove. It's going to come out great. It's going to be a lot faster. It's going to be a lot easier, and your kitchen is not going to get overheated as a result. So we're going to have to make sure that we start off with the dough. So really, this is kind of an odd little dough. So instead of, like, you know how we usually make bread or a yeast dough, we usually just start off with all the liquids in the bottom of the mixer bowl. But today we're going to put all the dry things in first, and then we're going to add the liquids in, and we're going to give it a little bit of a knead, then we're going to give it a rise. It probably isn't going to take long for it to rise with as warm as it is today. But I want to get this done well before the heat of the afternoon so that my kitchen isn't gonna overheat. So what I have in the bowl is 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of instant yeast, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and a teaspoon of salt. And I'm just gonna give that a mix, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just turn it on low. I'm gonna add 1 egg. Get that mixed in there. I'm gonna add a cup of water and a half a cup of oil. This is olive oil, a light olive oil. And you see it's gonna all start to come together. You wanna go ahead and knead this for about 5 minutes, and when that's ready, we'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, we've kneaded for 5 minutes, and before I took it out of the bowl and stopped the mixer, I poured a tiny little bit of olive oil in there just so that the dough would release easily and I wouldn't have to scrape. Now you can see there's a little residue in the bottom. This dough is going to be soft, and that is how you want it. But you see how beautiful and supple it is? It's so nice. You're gonna love it. And I know it's a little odd that you see a pita bread recipe with an egg in it, but I find that adding the egg really makes a huge difference. So I'm just gonna put it in a little bowl to rise here, and I'm going to put some olive oil on the top. I'm gonna flip it over. There was already a little bit of oil in the bottom there. So I'm just gonna put this to rise. I'm gonna put a bonnet on it. I'm gonna put it on the back of my stove in my warm kitchen, and it'll probably take about an hour to rise. At that time, we'll come back and I'll show you what happens next. Okay, it's been just over an hour and our dough is ready to go. It's beautiful and puffy, and we're just going to deflate it. Perfect. Oh, it feels really good. It's gonna make really nice pitas. Okay, I'm gonna divide this up into 12, maybe 16. We'll see how big they are. And then I'm going to start rolling them out. So I'll be back when I got them all divided up. Okay, I went ahead and I scaled up my dough, and we came up with 16 exactly. It was just over 32 ounces. And so what I did was, I like to scale my dough when I'm making rolls and pita like this, because I like everything to come out even. So these are 2-ounce balls, thereabouts. At the end I had a tiny little bit left, so I just divided it up into each pile of dough. Now I'm going through and I'm just kind of rounding everything up. So just like when we shape a dinner roll, we're going to put the dough down on the board. We're going to gently cup our hand over it with a little bit of force, but not so gentle. We're going to press it against the board, and we're going to roll it around in our hand. Go ahead and do it one more time. I left the last 2 to show you. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put these on a sheet pan lined with a parchment so that everything's out of my way, and then I'm gonna commence to rolling these out. Okay, we're gonna roll out. I've already rolled out all of my dough with the exception of the last two. Here they are. I have another pan on the stove. So we're just gonna set our ball of dough on the board, and yes, it's floured. You wanna flatten it out evenly with the palm of your hand. And then I have this nifty little rolling pin that is nothing more than
closet rod.
It's a piece of closet rod, and I love it. And I like it for things like this and for tortillas because you get really good control and pressure on whatever you're rolling out. And since we want these to be about 6 inches in diameter, this little rolling pin is perfect. It's about 8 inches. Mm-hmm. So the next time your husband's out in the shop, tell him you need a little short rolling pin like this. You can make it out of a fat dowel or a closet rod. We had a piece of closet rod sticking, hanging around. So I also have a longer rolling pin made out of this same closet rod. And once you wash it and oil it, it's great. It's nice and smooth. You definitely want to use some flour here. You don't want that sticking down to the board. And you'll see how I'm doing this. I'm rolling forwards, then backwards. Then I'm turning it a half a turn. Again, forwards and backwards. This is how you maintain a circle shape. And if you don't have round pitas, nobody's gonna care. They're gonna be delicious anyway. And there you go. Okay, we're gonna go heat up the skillet and we'll meet you over at the stove. Okay, I'm down to my last two, and what I have done is there's 14 in here already. Don't they look pretty?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, and they smell really good too. So as they come out, I pop them in here. I wrap them up in the towel. That'll keep them nice and warm, and it'll keep them soft and supple and ready to go. Now, these have been sitting on the sheet pan, and you want to gently take it off the sheet pan, and you want to put it down the side that was up on the sheet pan. Now, sometimes they don't puff up, but that doesn't mean they're not going to separate when you open them. And really, if they don't, big deal. Everyone's still going to love them anyway. Just fold them in half and eat it like a taco. It's just not a big deal. Pita bread is just really delicious, and it's super easy to make, as you can see. Now, this is a dry frying pan. Cast iron. You can use whatever pan you have. If you have a non-stick skillet, that'll work too. I have it on medium-high heat, and you just need to be patient. You can definitely tell it starts to puff up a little. You see, here's a bubble forming here. It's just sometimes it's not as dramatic as you may have seen in the past. Every recipe is a little bit different, and what you want to make sure that you do, see, this is ready to flip. If you don't like it that brown, don't leave it down there so long.
Or don't talk so much.
Or don't talk so much. It's my fault because I yakety yakety yak. And I like to just do this. You can choose not to. Everybody makes them differently. If you've never tried making pita, this is a really easy way to do it. The skillet is the way to go, okay? And that's it. We're gonna put it back in the bowl. I'll meet you over at the counter and I'll show you what these look like. And there you have it. Our pita bread is done and ready to go. I just put it in this bowl for serving, and when I'm done with the video, I am gonna put it back in the bowl with the towel to keep them warm and soft, because we're not gonna be eating dinner for a couple of hours anyway. But I wanted to show you, we did tear one in half, and I'll tear another one in half for you. Let's see if we can find a good one. So sometimes they don't like to separate, and I know that that's what pita is all about, but it's beautiful bread. It really, really is. And, you know, it'll gently separate if you nudge it a little, but if you don't, you can just use this to enjoy with your salad or your meal. You don't necessarily have to stuff anything in there, but like I said, you can always make a sandwich and do it like a taco. And I'm not going to complain about that. And because we're not always going for perfection in this house, we're just going for delicious. This is delicious, straight up. And once these cool off a bit, they may actually separate a little bit better. so I'm not going to worry about it. These are still really warm, and they're perfect for eating right now. You can smear these with some butter. You can enjoy them with a curry. You can enjoy them with just about anything. If you're
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup, they're not pancakes, honey.
Smell like that.
If you are a fan of Middle Eastern or East Indian food, these are going to be delicious to scoop up your dal or your butter chicken or anything of that nature. So I highly recommend you give them a try. If you've always wanted to try making pita, give them a try. I know you're going to love them. So if you liked my video today, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, I want to say welcome. Always nice to have someone new coming around and visiting my kitchen. And I hope that you'll consider hitting the subscribe button. If you are a member already of the Noreen's Kitchen family, please remember, hit that bell notification button, because we don't want anyone to miss out on all the real food for real people, real easy recipes that we present all the time right here on our YouTube channel and straight from our kitchen. I hope that you will give this stovetop skillet pita bread a try, and I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya.